You're watching the Onion News Network. Good for you. All this week, sex in America. An inspiring, heavily researched educational investigation of one of the most important and underexplored topics in human society. Sex in America. A groundbreaking television event only on the Onion News Network.
Tonight's fact, and I must say it's our best bet yet. I'm Brooke Alvarez, and you're in the Fact Zone. As you know, it's Sex in America week here on the Onion News Network, and it also happens to be my first night back after my mandatory vacation. While I was gone, news programs on competing networks saw a bump in their ratings, but that ends tonight. I plan to reclaim my dominance over this time slot. Now, I'm sure you've already seen some great Sex in America reporting on this network this week. From the investigation into whether your teen is having better sex than you, to Don Abrams' 2-hour special report on the dangers of autoerotic asphyxiation. But tonight, Fact Zone is going to outdo them all and become once again the world's top-rated cable news program. As always, I'll be checking Twitter throughout the evening, so log on and tweet your sexy thoughts to @BrookeAlvarez, and I'll read some of your responses a little bit later in the show. But first, there is some important non-sex related news we should get to. Jane Carmichael joins us now from Washington with tonight's top story.
Good evening, Brooke.
Is everything okay, Jane? You look like you've been crying.
I haven't been.
Oh, are you sure? You look so sad.
I don't know what to tell you, Brooke. This is just how I look.
So what's happening in the world of politics?
Well, as you know, we're only a year away from the 2012 elections, but the GOP is still looking for a clear frontrunner in their race for the White House. That's why today Republicans announced a new mystery candidate whose identity will be kept secret until he or she is elected president. With polls showing low voter enthusiasm for the current GOP candidates, Republican leaders are hoping the mystery candidate will be able to stir up the excitement they need to win in 2012.
Is the current crop of candidates not for you? Well, just close your eyes and embrace the mystery. You know, it could be Sarah Palin or Jeb Bush or someone much more qualified you've never heard of. Just remember, if Barack Obama wins a second term, you'll never know who your president could have been.
According to the GOP, the mystery candidate has all sorts of plans for fixing the economy, plans that will remain under wraps unless he is elected in November 2012.
Inside this silver briefcase is the answer to the nation's economic troubles. If the mystery candidate is not elected, he will board a plane, taking the briefcase out of the country forever. Now, you don't want that, do you?
President Obama's re-election campaign attempted to do damage control a few hours ago by pitching Joe Biden as an even bigger wild card.
No matter what anyone says, Joe Biden is the original mystery man. No one knows what he's thinking. No one knows what he'll do next.
This isn't the first time the GOP has introduced a flashy new 2012 hopeful. In March, they attempted to stir up support in traditional red states by running Robosaurus, the mechanized car-eating dinosaur. But Robosaurus was rejected by the party faithful after he announced his pro-choice stance. Back to you, Brooke.
Thank you, Jane. All right, we have a special Sex in America report now from our own tech trends correspondent, Colin Beckett, on an innovation that may revolutionize the way we make love to ourselves. Colin.
Thanks, Brooke. Say hello to Tyso, the first robot that can detect the presence of other human beings approaching while you masturbate. Thanks to him, the days of trying to yank up your pants while closing your laptop or throwing a porno magazine across the room may finally be over.
In a few years, you'll forget what it was like to masturbate without a small robot patrolling your house.
Here's how it works. Tyso detects pheromones emitted by the body during masturbation and begins patrolling the surrounding area, pinging out radio waves to detect movement, much like sonar. When Tyso detects a human being, it alerts the masturbator in 3 stages. First, a light cough, followed by a slightly louder clearing of the throat, coupled with an exaggerated yawn. And finally, using its facial and voice recognition software, it will call out to the intruder in a loud voice.
Jeff, so good to see you. Jeff is here.
It also has the capability to do a complete scan of the masturbating environment to ensure privacy from start to finish.
Close your blinds.
Taiso is already getting glowing reviews from beta testers.
I love Taiso. Now I can rub one out anywhere in the house, and it's so small I can even take it on a camping trip if I want.
And developers say they're already hard at work on the next generation of Taiso models, which will be able to engage parents, roommates, and spouses in up to 3 minutes of conversation, allowing you time to actually finish and clean yourself up. Or, as a last resort, fire several steel quills into their legs. For Tech Trends, I'm Colin Beckett.
Finally, something useful from science. Thanks, Colin. Right now it's time for the daily briefing, so let's go over to Tucker Hope at the Recon Wall. You know, Tucker, I think we're on track now to win back this time slot thanks to our sex coverage. I'm getting that tingling sensation on the back of my neck I always get when the ratings go up. Don't mess this up, Tucker.
Well, I'll give it the old Tucker try.
Oh, come on, Tucker. I know you test well with girls ages 13 to 17 for some reason, so let's see some of that sex appeal. Turn it up.
All right, maybe something like this. Wait, no, I got it.
Never mind. I'll figure something else out. Okay, give us the briefing.
All right, well, we're starting in Afghanistan today, where a Taliban attack on U.S. forces has led officials to announce that they are so glad that pretty soon America won't have to deal with this shit anymore. At the Pentagon earlier today, there was a press conference where an official said the department is, quote, seriously counting the days until this whole Afghanistan shitstorm is someone else's headache. We have some of that here.
It means we've been there for 10 straight years at this point, taking all this shit, and we are so over this. You can blow each other up for the rest of goddamn eternity if you like, because we are so out of there. I am hungry. I'm getting something to eat. That is all.
Secretary of State Hillary Clinton contacted Afghan President Hamid Karzai after the attack, saying, "You have America's full support as long as we don't have to do anything, because frankly, we mentally checked out of this turd bucket of a country years ago." And a little bit of sex news for you here. NASA has officially asked Russia to stop filming pornography on the International Space Station. The station has served as a set for Russian pornographic films since 2007, when the country decided to produce their own pornographic films featuring their astronauts in order to raise money for their struggling space program. Initially, NASA was able to look the other way when the films were limited to low-budget gonzo pornography shot mostly on handheld cameras, but now claim that the elaborate group sex scenes that the Russians are filming is interfering with the station's intended purpose as a research facility. The Russian Space Agency released their own statement on the issue, saying sex in zero gravity is a growing fetish in Europe. There are no rules in space. And that is your daily briefing. Back to you, Brooke.
Thanks, Tucker. You know, that Russian space program seems to have gotten no better since I worked for them. Okay, we have to take a quick break right now, but in the meantime, tweet me your answers to this important Sex in America question. What do you think of Disney World's decision to open a sexy new singles club so the socially stunted adults who visit their park can meet other creepy adults like themselves? I'll read your responses when we come back. There are a lot of zones out there, but only this one is fact in it, so stay right here. You've got misinformation all over your fingers. Wipe them off with a fact towelette. You're back in the Fact Zone. Let's take a look now at some of your Twitter responses to the question, what do you think of Disney World's sexy new singles club? Atlee Greatest 1999 says, everyone deserves love, even a 40-year-old in a size XXL Tweety Bird sweatshirt. And at OO Pico says, as long as I don't have to watch them grind against each other to It's a Small World. Well, live ratings data is showing that viewers are loving tonight's tasteful and educational Sex in America reporting. So let's continue on now with a very special sex edition of First Responders. A new report finds that over 60% of employers are now checking online amateur pornography of potential job candidates. Is it fair to base hiring decisions on an applicant's online porn?
No, this is not fair at all. For instance, if there's a red tube video of my girlfriend slapping me and choking me and riding me, that shouldn't be an indication that I'm going to lack leadership in a work situation.
Yeah, but Duncan, it's going to be hard to convince an employer who's masturbating to that video otherwise.
Exactly. My potential employer might see all those videos of my husband tying me up and having his way with me. And then they're going to think that I'm not going to be assertive enough for the job.
I mean, these days, everyone has an Xtube account. It's your own fault if you lose out on a job because you've got tons of videos on the web where you're slowly inserting various household objects into your anus.
Yeah, but what if you're shoving those things in your anus on your own time?
But let's be smart about it. You know, if you know an employer might see this, you know, post a video of yourself getting double teamed by two brawny Latinos to show your support of diversity in the workplace.
Oh, and multitasking.
And multitasking.
But I still want to have the right to badmouth with my employer while shooting a POV hand job without fear of affecting my future prospects for work.
If you don't want to jeopardize the content of your porn, you can always shoot from the eyes down.
Oh, but that's not the same. If you cover the eyes, that's where the innocence is.
Yeah, but guys, don't these amateur sites also have privacy settings that you could set so that future employers don't have access to these questionable videos?
Right.
Okay, but that doesn't protect you from appearing in other people's videos. Now, I found on YouPorn a video of me participating in some piss play at a party a few years ago.
Oh, I hate that.
Well, no, it was a really good time for everybody. But the thing is, we didn't know who uploaded it to the web. So am I supposed to leave an orgy just because someone shows up with a camera?
No one's saying you should leave an orgy.
No,
right,
no,
so
it's more complicated.
So now, if I go to a party, I wear something like this in case that situation comes up again.
I like that. I actually shoot my porn in sepia tone and make it look old-timey, so if people see it, they'll think it's my grandfather and not
Okay, very interesting. All right, thank you so much, first responders. Now we all remember millionaire financier Brian Wasserman, who was charged 6 months ago with the 9 felony counts of investment fraud and sentenced to 17 years in prison, forcing the big spending high roller to trade his luxurious 20-room mansion for a tiny cell in the New York State prison system. Autistic reporter Michael Falk joins us now with his interview. Nice to see you again, Michael.
I cannot see you, Brooke. I can only hear you.
Right.
Okay. Hello, Brooke. I finished speaking with Brian Wasserman 26 minutes ago, and have been standing here since then waiting for you to talk to me. Watch that interview now. Brian Wasserman used to live in a very big mansion. Now he lives in a tiny jail cell. Is living in prison different from living in a 40,000 square foot mansion in Westchester?
Yeah, it's different.
How is it different from living in a 40,000 square foot mansion in Westchester?
Well, it's every second of my day is accounted for. It's just day after day of rigid routine.
Rigid routine. What is the rigid routine?
Well, we get up at exactly 6 a.m.
Yes.
Exactly 6:15 a.m. Everyone is counted.
Counted.
Yeah, we have to line up 7 times a day to be counted.
Line up and be counted.
And then there's the food. I never tasted such terrible food.
How long do you have to stay in the line?
We have to walk in lines everywhere.
Do you have to make that line straight?
Oh, yeah. Well, frankly, I always thought you didn't have to do anything in prison, but we have a work detail, and it's hard. Just yesterday, I spent the entire day stacking crates, just one on top of the other.
I like to stack.
You do?
Yes, I like to stack crates, stacking crates.
Yeah, well, it's hard work.
Yes, stacking crates.
I don't mean to complain, but
One on top of another,
I
on top
realize
of
what I
another,
did
on top of
was
another, on
wrong.
top of another.
I just want to serve my time, and maybe I can get out of here and get back to my family.
Why do you want to get out of here?
For my family.
Can you stack your family?
What?
I want to be in prison.
No, you don't.
I want to be in prison.
No, you don't.
Yes.
You see, it takes its toll on you. Well, you wear the same clothes every day,
Yes.
and you live in this tiny little box,
Yes. Yes.
And there's hardly any human contact.
How do I get to live here?
No.
How do I get to live here? I need
you
to go to
don't-
prison now.
I don't think you understand.
Now.
You see, this is a scary
Now.
place.
Now.
I mean, sure, there are normal guys like me who are in here for embezzling and fraud, but
that takes too long.
we
I need to go
also
to prison
have
now.
violent
I
offenders.
need to go now.
I mean, the guy in the next cell over, he robbed the convenience store and shot the cashier.
Robbed a convenience store.
Yeah,
And
so,
shot the cashier. Shot the
you know,
cashier. Okay.
I mean, it's a
Make sure the
scary
cashier's
place.
dead.
It's rough.
Make sure the cashier is dead. Make sure the cashier's blood gets on your clothes, so the DNA can be traced. For evidence. Okay. Brooke, prison is a great place to live. Brian Wasserman is very lucky. I need to buy a gun. I am Michael Falk. Goodbye.
Thanks, Michael. You know, when I was in prison, they called me the she-bear. During that story, I checked my phone, and it looks like we're gaining more viewers by the second thanks to our Sex in America coverage. We'll have more for you on that in just a moment, but first, I'm contractually obligated to check in with the Onion News Network's O'Grady Shaw, who's exposing the tragic world of sex trafficking in a brand new one-hour special tomorrow night. Well, look at you, O'Grady. You're truly going the extra mile, aren't you, for Sex in America Week?
This isn't for Sex in America Week, Brooke. I'm going shirtless to show my solidarity with the estimated 700,000 women who are victimized by sex trafficking every year. Until every one of them is free from their life of misery and bondage, I promise I won't put my shirt back on. Viewers will get a one-hour look at this wrenching human tragedy in my naked torso tomorrow night. Don't miss it.
Yeah. O'Grady Shaw, everyone. Well, it looks like O'Grady Shaw has resorted to nudity to try to beat the fact zone during this week's Sex Week festivities. But I haven't shown my full hand yet. Viewers, you just sit tight for more scintillating Sex in America coverage. You can sleep comfortably. These fact sheets are 600 truth count. While I'd like to make our show tonight entirely sexy sex, the fact is there are other things happening in the world, namely identity theft. Our own Shelby Cross had some helpful tips on our show tonight about how to avoid having your personal information stolen. Take a look.
are you doing? You're putting your name, address, credit card number, social security number, all that. You're just chucking it right up onto the internet where any disgusting degenerate can grab it. Listen to Shelby. The only way to make sure that your identity is never stolen is to change it every 3 years. That's what I do. 2 years ago, I was Ellen Foxcroft, attorney at law. 3 years before that, I was Kim Franks, a unit commander in the Navy SEALs. 3 years before that, I was Trish Homingwood, patient at the Austin State Psychiatric Hospital. And 3 years before that, I was Regina Dupree, lead singer of the soul group Derriere. And you know what? None of my identities has ever been stolen. So to make sure that your personal information stays safe, you gotta follow some simple steps. First, you're gonna need new pieces of identification, right? But don't worry, old Shelby knows a guy up in Detroit, can fix these up pronto, real cheap. Next, you're gonna have to fake your own death. But all that takes is a mold of your teeth, a corpse, and a $500 used car for setting on fire. And lastly, you gotta be ready to switch identities at a moment's notice, even if it's just temporary. And that's why I have all my clothes sewn together so both sides look like the front, and I wear a mask on the back of my head. Hello, my name is Jonah Crosby. I'm from London, England, and my very special talents include ventriloquism and throwing my voice. If you don't have a dorsal identity, then you are just plain foolish people.
Thanks for that, Shelby. And you know, since it's Sex in America Week, I think I might as well tell everyone that those dorsal identities can really spice things up in the bedroom. Well, Brady Shaw might be trying to steal your attention with his shirtless antics, but he's not the only hunk around here. No, sir. Tucker is here with a sexy new look. Check him out. He is going to do a little sensual dance for us. Go ahead, Tucker.
Brooke, do I have to?
Yes, you do.
Well, I look like a gay
Okay,
gypsy.
Tucker, the ladies are going to love it. Don't complain.
Well,
Excellent. All right, President Obama kicked off his re-election campaign today, asking voters not to make his daughters, Malia and Sasha, switch schools. Marie Byron joins us now, along with Onion News Network senior political analyst Jason Copeland. Jason, nice to see you again.
Hey, Brooke.
Hello, Brooke. It's an interesting strategy, don't you think, for Obama? Telling voters he knows that they don't like him, but if he had to move out of the White House and his daughters had to start all over at a new school come January 2013, well, it would just about break their hearts.
You know, it's a desperate move. He clearly doesn't have anything else to hang his hat on, so he's decided the best strategy is to tell people that a vote for a Republican is a vote to take away all of Sasha and Malia's friends and force them to get new ones.
Yeah, well, no matter what you think of his policies or leadership, it's hard not to feel a little bit guilty when you see the Obama campaign's new slogan, "For the Kids' Sake," featuring a logo of Sasha and Malia looking all doe-eyed.
Yeah, I think it's really smart. Obama knows voters are upset with him, but his adorable, adorable children have done nothing wrong. I mean, you know, Malia will be halfway through her freshman year of high school. Sasha will just be starting junior high. His team is really pushing the message that, look, this is just too important a time for these girls.
Yeah, and the strategy may be working, too, looking at some of the tweets that we've been getting all day. Winpan Zero tweets, "I had to change schools in 8th grade, ruined my whole life. I blame all my many probs on it."
This is just a distraction from the real issues, and it's almost as shameless as Obama asking for votes because he's not sure whether Michelle's mother can handle another big move.
No, you know, I think Obama's enfeebled mother-in-law is going to be a major issue in the race. Marion Robinson is getting up there. Her mind is not as sharp as it once was. You move her to new surroundings, I mean, look, she might wake up, not know where she is, wander into the middle of the street.
That is just baseless speculation.
Okay, you guys, Joe Biden was also campaigning today. He sent out several photos of all the posters that he put up in his office, letting people know that he put them up there with tape, so a lot of them are going to get ruined if he has to take them down.
Very smart.
Yeah. All right, Jason, Marie, thank you both for being with us
Thanks,
today. Well, we're getting some live viewer tracking data now, and apparently Tucker's little dance and outfit just didn't raise ratings as expected. They're actually dropped 34% when he was on screen. That's not good. But don't worry. The she-bear does not give up when she's cornered. No, sir, she fights. And we're going to take a short break now, but when we return, we'll have the results of our Fact Zone Sex in America poll. Have you ever faked an orgasm to get out of work? And we will also have something else. That's right, something sexy. The she-bear shall roar. Stay with us. Calm down, no one's going to hurt you anymore. You're back in the Fact Zone. I'm Brooke Alvarez. Here are the results now of our Fact Zone viewer poll. 72% said that you had faked an orgasm during a meeting just so that you'd be sent home by your bewildered, uncomfortable colleagues, while 28% said that you had not. Well, sadly now we have to wrap up this Sex in America broadcast with a tragic story. During the break, we received news of a deadly fire in an Atlanta strip club that killed 9 people last night. So to help give us some insight to the story, I quickly called in an expert, Ms. Tia Roxy. She's over there right now with Tucker.
Brooke,
Yeah, Tia, thanks for coming on such short notice. Really appreciate it. All of your experience working in strip clubs can obviously enlighten us on what might have happened in Atlanta last night, correct? Excellent. So Tucker, go ahead, ask her some questions.
Right now, okay. Tia, I understand there were two 19-year-olds that were killed in that fire.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, is it not illegal for those under 21 to be in some of those gentlemen's clubs?
Some of them.
Yeah. All right. Well, investigators believe that they found some faulty wiring, and they think that. Whoops. They think that might have been what caused the fire. Do you think that caused the fire thing?
Do you want me to get wet?
No, that's okay. Okay. All right. Well, Brooke, that's all the questions that I have.
Come on. There's more to that story, Tucker. Get in there. Ask her about employer-provided fire safety seminars.
What? Well, were there fire employee safety seminars, or did they tell you where the fire extinguishers were and things of that nature?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well. All right, Brooke, this is all I got, so.
Yeah, all right. You know what, Tucker? Hey, you know what? Don't even ask her questions. Just stand
Brooke,
there. Keep dancing, Tia. Keep dancing. Keep it moving. There you go. Whoa, the Insta rating tracker says another 188,000 Americans just paused on this channel while channel surfing. Keep it going, Tia. Bump, grind, get closer to him. He likes it. Look at that. Another 43,000 males in the coveted under 24 demo. Yes, I am back. Brooke Alvarez is back. Go for it, Tia. Come on.